Hi there, folks. Welcome back to Mossy Roots Farm. So today is going to be a garden hose video while it's raining and not nice enough to graze yet. But I need to talk about garden hoses because I just had a revelation with some of my hoses, and I need to discuss what the best thing to do is going to be and where I'm going to go with garden hoses in the future. So I know that's a lot. I know I probably need to drink some decaf coffee, but the caffeine is just so good. I'm sure you guys have seen this stuff. This is the flexible, expandy garden hose stuff. And if you haven't, here's what it does. As you apply pressure, it stretches, right? So basically, what that allows you to do is put a 100-foot hose inside of a little wash bucket. It's a 3-gallon wash bucket. So hose fits in there very well. Now, the reason I bought that and was excited for it was because we were going to have baby girls in the barn all winter. So we were going to have a tote like this out here. And then we were going to have to pump water into our black barrel over here so that our baby girls could have water all winter. Yeah, like these baby girls. Yeah, like you guys. So that's the reason why we have that set up. However, the thing I have realized recently is that garden hose does not work. And I will explain why and show why, but I want to feed some baby girls some alfalfa cubes because that's what they want. See this? See that? Here, let's get a good shot of this one. They like eat your whole hand for an alfalfa cube. So anyways, back to garden hoses. We have had good luck with them running all the way over and pumping it into the barrel. Like, it does work. But the issue is that these garden hoses that expand have so much restriction to them that it takes 3 or 4 times longer to fill a barrel of any kind versus your generic Tractor Supply cheap as dirt garden hose right here, which is what this is. So this tote is 275 gallons, and it usually takes 15 to 20 minutes to fill completely at the house with a regular old garden hose. It took like an hour, maybe hour and a half. I wasn't timing it. I was doing other stuff to fill up 3/4 of the way full with this expandy garden hose here. So there was my revelation. These expandy garden hoses suck. And I don't mean that like they're absolutely useless, because we use one of these as a short piece for when we go to cattle shows, because it fits up in our tack box really well. It's at 15 feet when expanded, and when you use them to water your flowers or water your garden, like we're currently getting from Mother Nature here, you squeeze your nozzle and it doesn't put out full flow anyway, so it helps stay expanded. Now, when I hook this hose up to my pump here, and when I try and fill baby cow water up with it, I run into a very similar situation. It takes 20 to 30 minutes to pump 100 gallons of water, 100 gallons of water into our water tank for the baby girls. So I'm getting rid of that hose. I'm not throwing it away. I'm not gonna, chunk it up and do anything crazy with it. I'm just not gonna use it anymore. The main reason I bought it is because it would all fit in this bucket, and then if it all fit in the bucket, that allowed me to take this up to the house, and then not have any issues with frozen garden hoses, because I have to do this setup all winter long as I got cows in the barn. And if I have a piece of garden hose like this, 50 to 100 feet would not fit in a bucket to go into my basement. So I have to change something. Something's got to change. So one of the things we could do is run a pipeline up and all the way over, like 1/2 inch, and do all that stuff, and then just have a hookup like here. And as long as we have it, so as long as it's straight down on this side and it angles down towards the water trough on the other side, it can never freeze, or freeze solid at least, as long as we drain it out. Which again, we could put like a little thing here, a little valve, we could shut it off, and then we could put a little piece of hose like this on it so it drains away from our barn. So you could do something along those lines. Or you just get a nice big piece of garden hose and do the same thing with it. So instead of PVC, you just zip tie a piece of garden hose up here in your rafters. You know, run that all the way across and you're good to go. But there's, like I say, there's many options for us to do. This works for now until I can do something like that. But I also wanted to briefly discuss garden hoses in the summertime. This is not going to work for watering cows because I feel like it's going to be too soft and too squishy. Plus, it takes up a lot of PSI to physically fill it up. So if you don't have pressure behind of it or good pressure, it's going to shrink. And then instead of being a 100-foot hose, it'll be a 50-foot hose. But this stuff is also not good for hoses in the summertime for feeding and watering cows because this stuff, you bend it like that and it snaps in half. Now, mainly in the wintertime, but it's junk. These are all pieces from garden hoses that I've had to cut up because they do not work well. So the solution is big rubber garden hose. Now, I don't have one yet. A lot of people like the Flexzilla brand, so I will eventually get one like that. But I'm going to get a big 3/4 inch rubber hose because I don't want to sit down here for hours and just pump water. I want to get this stuff done and dealt with so that I can go back up to the house and do what I need to do. And the bigger your water line, the more water you can pump, the easier it is, the better your pump works. So that's a little bit. This probably ended up being more about why I hate this hose than about other garden hoses, but that's okay. Once I actually get the 3/4 inch garden hose and use it for a while, maybe then I can talk a little bit about how nice or bad it is. And actually, quick side note before we end here, I do have an air compressor down here. So if I wanted to, I could hook a garden hose up and then just use an air compressor to blow the garden hose back out. Leave it up as a semi-permanent thing, set it up something similar to that, and I could make that work too. But anyways, guys, enough of me rambling on about some garden hose that I would like to not have bought and save the money and just buy the really good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.